Okay, so now we have a domain registered, we have a server running, and our email should be set up and ready to go. Last thing that we want to do is add content to our web server and make sure that it's ready to go. So the first thing that I'm going to do is go to Spotlight and pull up Terminal and log into our server via SSH. Since that was the last server that I accessed, I can just hit the up arrow and enter, and then I'm going to go back to my notepad and copy the password onto the clipboard, paste that, hit enter, and we're in. So now what we need to do is make some adjustments to the server. I'm going to go ahead and choose to edit a file by typing nano/etc/hosts and enter. Once I've done that, I'll scroll down to the last section of this list, and I'm going to paste the IP address of our server. First, I've got to go and grab that record, the IP address. So I'll pull that from GoDaddy. I'm going to go to Terminal again, paste it, and I'm going to enter the name of our website here, restorehope.us. Exit out by holding Control and hitting X, and then I'll hit Y for save. Next thing that I'm going to do is move over by typing in CD, go to the etc directory, move ahead by typing in CD space apache 2 and hitting enter. And I'll go ahead and hit dir again to show the contents of that folder. I want to edit one called httpd.conf, and I'm going to add a server name directive. Make sure that you have a capital N there and type in the name of the domain. Go ahead and close out. Again, Control X, yes, I will, and hit enter again to save. Moving forward, I'm going to run a command for a special module that we'll need. So I'll type in a2enmod space rewrite. Follow the dialog box. I can type in service apache2 restart and hit enter. Everything looks good. Now, I need to add a new user and let Apache run as a new user. So I'll type in add user, and I'm going to make a user named web user. And I'll make up a password for that user. Enter it again. Yes, that information is correct. I need to modify a file called envvars. So I'm going to scroll down and look for a line called Apache run user, and I'm going to change that to our new user's name. And then again, I'm going to change the group to web user as well. I'll close that, Control X, and hit enter. Now we have Apache running as a new user. Next thing I need to do is change the ownership of server folders over to this new user. There's a command called chown. I'm going to change ownership of the var www folder, and I'm going to change it to web user : web user. I'm going to hit up and add a slash, hit enter, up, and also enter index.html and hit enter. So everything should be owned now in our web directory by web user. Next, I'm going to move forward and try and restart Apache. Now, when I do that, I'm getting an error message, and that's because I need to restart the system. So I can do that by typing the following command: shutdown-r and now. Hit enter. Like before, it'll take a couple minutes to get the server back up and running. So while it's restarting, I can go ahead and copy the root password in to my clipboard. And then I'm going to hit the up arrow and hit enter. As soon as that computer is up and running again, I can paste my password. All right, now I am logged in. I can restart Apache, and this time it works great. Everything is okay. So I'm ready to test out my server and make sure that it's working correctly. I can curl localhost, and there it is. Works great. So now I can use a program. I like to use one called CyberDuck to log into our server via FTP. Now I'm going to open up CyberDuck. I've already installed it. And I'm going to open up a new connection. And I'll choose SFTP as the protocol and paste in our server's IP address, which I can pull from GoDaddy again, or wherever you have it copied down. Paste that into the server path, and I'm going to use web user as our username, and then go ahead and enter the password and hit connect. That'll take just a moment, and soon you should be logged in to web user's home directory. You can back up to the root folder by choosing a dialog box there at the top, and I'm going to go to the folder var www and choose to edit the index file, just to show you that we can now FTP in as web user and modify files in our web directory. So I'm going to change the paragraph here to "this is just a test" and hit Command S to save that. It'll take a moment and should get a notification saying that upload is complete. And now I can go to our web domain, and voila, everything is all functional. So I'm not going to be happy just adding HTML content from terminal or editing one index.html file. I have plans to move pretty quickly through adding web content, so I've chosen to use a content management system like many of you probably have already done if you're interested in setting up a server like this. So I've chosen to use Wordpress for this demonstration, and I'm going to go back to terminal. And once I'm logged in as web user, I'm going to move over by typing cd space var www to the directory for the website files. And I can delete the index file by typing in rm space I star and hitting enter. So if I hit dir, I'll see that sure enough there's no files there. And I happen to know that WordPress is available at a specific URL, so I can grab WordPress by typing in webgit and entering in that WordPress URL. It'll take just a moment to download that file, and I need to move back over to the root user so that I can install a package by typing in aptitude install unzip. And it'll take a moment for me to do that, and once unzip is installed, I'm going to scoot back over to becoming web user and move into my web directory again and unzip my latest file, and that will inflate all of those files. Now I'm going to pull up my CyberDuck FTP connection and delete the latest file, and then expand the WordPress folder, highlight all the contents of that directory, and I'm going to move them into the root folder by just moving that outside of the folder. That'll take just a moment, and I'll have to choose yes in my dialog box. I can confirm that that folder is in fact empty, and then hit delete. So now we've moved all of WordPress into the root folder of our web directory. But we're not quite finished yet, because what we need is a MySQL database. So I'm going to move over to terminal again. And now I'm going to become the root user again by typing exit. And once I've done that, I can type the following command: mysql admin space -p, and I'm going to create WordPress, a database called WordPress. And as a password from my clipboard, I will copy the root password that I've been using all along, and I'll paste that and hit enter. And just to confirm that that database has been created, I can log into MySQL by typing mysql space -p and show databases semicolon. And great, there it is, WordPress. So let me exit out. And now the last thing I need to do is log into our site, and I'll hit refresh and follow the prompt here through WordPress's user interface. I'm going to leave the database name WordPress because that's the name of the database I created. I'm going to enter root as the MySQL username and paste our password. For table prefix, you can make whatever you want the prefix. I'll just enter a random code here and hit submit. Once that installation process runs, all I need to do is enter in site title. I'm going to use admin and let Safari pick a password for me. Pick my new email address as the admin email and choose to install. That site is up and running. And now I can log in, check out the WordPress dashboard, and visit the front end of the site where the new CMS is up and running and the site is live on our new domain.